So I want to talk about this passage. I think one of the most significant passages in the canon, and I wanted to compare it to another passage. So I made a video about is there a self or not? It was a question a Brahmin asked the Buddha, and the Buddha didn't answer that question because it was actually a wrong question. And this is a right type of question, and you want to compare that. I mean, these persons who are asking these questions, where they are coming from. We want to dig through that direction. Okay? So he asks, thus I have come in need with a question to the one of excellent vision. How does one look upon the world so that the king of death does not see one? I mean, the first time you read that question, it sounds like a convoluted way of asking that question. It's not a direct question. For example, he could have asked instead, um, how, uh, what is the essence of the world, for example? What's everything made of? So ask that. Or is there a life after that? He's concerned about that, for example. Where am I going to go after that? He could have asked that. He could have asked, is there a self, that travels? But he didn't ask any of those questions. The significant part of this question is, how does one look upon the world? So he already understood the significance of how you look upon the world. It is, this is the part of, actually, this is a big part of the image is your attitude, your point of view. So he understood the significance of that. He has Yoniso Manasikara. He has all the parts, If he didn't have right view there, he has all the parts to get right view. He has right type of attitude, right type of perspective, this wide perspective. He asked this question, and the Buddha, what did the Buddha say? He said, look upon the world as empty. Mukaraja, being ever mindful. So these two sentences, look upon the world as empty, and being ever mindful. These are not actually people who don't have, right view. Upon reading this, they would think, okay, this is the teaching of, Sunyata, and this is the teaching of mindfulness. And he continues, having uprooted the view of self, one might thus cross over that. These are like three separate teachings, just compressed in one sentence, you might think. But they are different ways of stating the same insight. It's actually the whole Dhamma is just expressing the same insight on different levels of analysis. They are not these individual compounds, just piled up together. Dhamma is not like that. Everything just ties up together in this single insight. Yeah. looking upon the world as empty means remember the other question, is there a self or not? For example, asking that question already assumes an independent, you have an independent point of view from the aggregates. Okay. You are just individual, you are this individual agent independent of the aggregates, and that's how you can ask that question. Is there a self or not? Already assumes that position. Okay. That's why there isn't an answer to that question. There is no right answer to that question. So, but there is the answer to this question, and that is the problem. Really, that's how you look upon the world, how you assume the aggregates. That is the problem, and there's an answer to that question. Being ever mindful, people upon reading this, they have this generic understanding of mindfulness. Okay, I just watch every moment with pure focus. That's not what mindfulness means. That's why these, no matter how many books, how many passages the Buddha, we have his words, no matter how much you read, you just read over them because you don't get the significance of these teachings. You don't get the significance of what mindfulness means. You have just this mundane understanding, but it doesn't apply to the teachings of the Buddha. That is the problem. That's why you don't have right view. Because you have a view of what mindfulness is, and when the Buddha talks about mindfulness, oh, okay, he's talking about this type of, whatever you think mindfulness is. But what you should do is try to triangulate, okay, from this reading these passages, what does he trying to point at when he talks about mindfulness? You have a fuzzy, understanding, but you read the sutta and you just you get a more less fuzzy understanding. Okay, you just triangulate that reading what he's trying to get at. You need to figure it out for yourself on reading these passages. Get more correct, more right by upgrading your understanding. Okay. But what 99% of people do, I observe, they have some view what mindfulness is, what jhana is, what right view is. Okay, they already have those established, and they project those meanings when they read the suttas. Okay. They don't do the, how do you say, this backwards. They don't correct their understanding by reading the suttas. They just keep projecting those faulty understandings over and over, and instead of upgrading and getting more right understanding, they keep reinforcing their wrong understanding. That's why they never get the right view. You want constantly just question your understanding if it really matches what the Buddha is really trying to get here.